Now that we know a little bit about the Photoshop interface and about the tools and how those tools are organized in the Tools panel, what I want to do here is take a look at a couple of tools, in particular the Hand tool and also the Zoom tool. And I also want to highlight how we can work with the Navigator panel over here. And I'll start simple, and then we'll get more complex as we move along. All right, well, for starters, here you can see I've opened up a portrait that I captured. And let's say that what I want to do with this image is I want to zoom in on the photograph. I want to see the detail up close. So in order to do that, I'll click on the icon for the zoom tool, or I'll press the Z key in order to select that tool. Next, position your cursor over the image and then simply click. Now when you single click, you can see that you're zooming in so that you're getting much closer to your photograph. Well, let's say that I've zoomed in close, but now I can't see the portion of the image that I really want to focus in on. Well, in order to change what you're seeing, you can use the Hand tool. This is why these two tools are grouped together, because they work well together. To select the Hand tool, press the H key or click on the tool icon in the Tools panel, and then position your cursor over the image and simply click and drag in order to reposition what you're viewing. Now, another way to do the same thing is to use the Navigator panel. If you make your way over to the Navigator panel, you can access it by clicking on the tab there. Just click on the word Navigator. Here you can see it showing me a preview of the image, and there's currently a red box. Now, if I position the cursor over that red box, the cursor changes into the Hand tool. Here, this is showing me that I can click and drag this around in order to view a different portion of the image. I can also zoom in and zoom out. Notice the mountains underneath this and the slider. If I click on the smaller mountain, well, the image becomes smaller or it zooms out. If I click on the larger mountain, well, then it zooms in. You can also use the slider in order to do the same thing. Now, there are a couple other shortcuts that you can use when zooming in and zooming out. Here they are. I'm going to go ahead and select the Zoom tool by clicking on the Zoom tool icon in the Tools panel. Now, so far we saw that you can click once in order to zoom in, but you can also click and hold in order to zoom in a more fluid way. Here I'll click and hold, and you can see how I'm zooming in a bit more of a fluid way. Well, currently I've zoomed in, and let's say I want to zoom in even more, so I click and hold, and as I do that, I've zoomed in much closer. Yet now I've zoomed in too far. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a quick way to zoom out? Well, there is, and it involves using a keyboard shortcut. On a Mac, press and hold the Option key. On Windows, press and hold the Alt key. You notice that the Zoom tool icon changes. Rather than having a plus icon in the middle, now has a little minus icon. Well, now here, I can press and hold to zoom out in a fluid way, or I can single click in order to zoom out in stages. In this way, we can really easily zoom in and zoom out. All right, well, I'm going to continue to zoom out, so I'll press and hold the Option key or the Alt key, and I'm just going to click and zoom out. Now, currently, I've zoomed out really far, and I've done this in order to illustrate a way to zoom in so that you can see the entirety of the image at the largest view without covering up any of the image with the interface. And the way to do that is by way of a shortcut. If you double-click the Hand tool, what it will do is it will take the zoom rate to the largest size so that it fits with inside Photoshop without covering up any of the image. In this way, you can see the whole image. And this is helpful whether you need to zoom in or zoom out. Let me show you. Here I'll drag the Navigator slider to zoom in. I've zoomed in too close. Here I am up close to the eyes. I now want to see the whole image. To do that, simply double-click on that Hand tool. Well, what about zooming in so that you can see the actual detail that you have in your photograph? To do that, you need to zoom to 100%. There's a shortcut for that. Here it is. If you double-click the Zoom tool icon, that will then take your image to this 100% view. You can see I'm now at 100% here. In this way, this allows you to quickly jump to this particular perspective. All right, well, I know that I've included a lot of information here, so if you feel like there's too much or if I've gone too fast, just keep in mind you can always go back and rewatch this movie. All right, well, I wanted to say that because here I want to highlight one more keyboard shortcut combination which will allow you to zoom in and to zoom out. And this keyboard shortcut combination involves using the Command key on a Mac, the Control key on Windows, in combination with the plus or minus key. Here I'll press Command or Control minus in order to zoom out, or I'll press Command or Control plus in order to zoom in.